record right now,
Are
and
my
I
levels
can.
and stuff all right? I can't hear myself, but you must be able to hear
That's
me.
all right. I can hear you. Do you mind doing a recording also, Chris, just in
Ah,
case
right.
something?
How would you want me to do that?
It should come up right at the bottom of your screen there when if you put a
It's,
cursor over your.
it says that you need to give me permission if we're doing it on Zoom.
Oh my goodness, how annoying! Security. Allow participants to. It does not say that. Resume,
Have a
rename
look. Do
themselves.
you see participants?
Yeah.
Go on there and then on more, go on me and then more, and it should say something like allow me to record.
Okay. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. More. I've not had to do that before. Chat, stop video, make case rename. Allow to record local files. Yes.
That's what we
That's
want.
it.
And we are in.
I was I was a Skype man up until that wasn't the thing to do anymore, and now I'm
It is. It's
learning.
the anniversary. It's probably the year since we've been using Zoom. It is easier because you don't need to log in, and there's an additional faff with Skype, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, but I could. The thing with Skype is with the subscription I had, I could do this. I could ring people. I could do all sorts of stuff. I could just, if
Okay.
I just wanted to have a 5 minute telephone conversation with someone, a little check in and record it. But anyway, look, I'm not really whinging. Let's do this interview. I have got here on Zoom, what would you call him? Comedy entrepreneur, impresario, Chris Evans from Go Faster Stripe, the website. All of us comedy fans have been over there to check it out and see what's happening. Hello, Chris. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. That's a lovely
Thanks.
introduction, thank you.
Well, look, I think you're doing well. God's work over there because you're collating a lot of shows that otherwise, as you say yourself, might just go into the ether and never be seen again.
That's
And
true.
we'd hate that. Do you? I don't want you to give a long history because I know you've done
Okay.
it so much time. Do you mind nutshelling it for us? The history of Go
Uh,
Faster Stripe.
okay. Well, I mean that is what I'm doing. I'm trying to stop shows from disappearing away, and it's for selfish reasons, more or less,
Yeah.
because some shows I've seen are so good, and sometimes they're dense, or sometimes they're just brilliant, and they're worthy of watching again. And I was bemoaning the fact to anyone that would listen. Happened to be reading Stuart Lee's website that said that he wasn't going to record his latest show, and I thought, man, that is a shame. That was a really good show. I would love to see that again. And I was working in an art centre at the time that had a theatre in it that you could hire. So I asked the theatre if I could hire asked the art centre if I could hire the theatre. I asked Stu if he would like to come and be recorded. And also, here's the other little thing in the mix. I had a couple of friends that were camera operators on TV shows, and I asked them if they would fancy spending an evening fulfilling a dream of mine. And they came down and we hired in some nice cameras, and we just did it for a bit of a laugh one night.
Mm.
And it kind of surprised everyone when it came out really well. Stu just said he'd come down and it'd be nice to have an archival recording of his show. But once he saw it, he said this can be released. So kind of changed gears and started a company in order to release this one DVD. While we were having a drink, Stuart said, "Have you ever thought of asking Richard Herring if he would like to have any of his shows recorded? Because I bet he'd go for it." And I remember saying I was just too shy to speak to these people. Stuart, ridiculous, gave me his email address, and then so Richard came on, and then I got kind of braver. Actually, it was ages before I got braver. Stu also introduced me to Simon Menry, so we recorded his show. Robin Ince bought a DVD from me, so I had his email address. So I wrote to him and said, "Do you fancy
Well
being
done.
recorded?" And it kind of slowly and accidentally rolled forward from that.
Fantastic.
That's it, really.
And now you've got so much over there. I'm just having a bit of a look. Most of these names I know, some I don't know really well. Maybe to the uninitiated, you can give a little spruik out to say George
Okay.
Egg. George Egg, I've heard mentioned on other podcasts, but I've never checked out George. What's he like?
Well, he's like a guerrilla cook, I suppose. So
Oh,
he's an excellent cook, but he's a cook from first principles. So I can warm things up, but he can say, oh, okay, there's an iron. I can probably fry an egg on that, or there's a toaster. I can put something in there. So he cooks. The show that we recorded was about things you can cook yourself a proper meal if you're stuck in a hotel room in the middle of nowhere.
Ha ha.
So it involves
Fantastic.
plants that you can see in reception, and he uses the kettle to do his. I think he cooked his fish in the kettle, that sort of thing.
Ah, that's amazing. And someone I've never heard of before. How about? Oh, I just went off the person I wanted to talk about. Oh, Rob Kemp. Rob Kemp, I know nothing about.
Oh man, well, his show I thought would be awful. Do you know? I don't know what you have in the comedy festivals there, but in Edinburgh Festival, which I go to, which has like the best and the worst of comedy, I think. So there'll often be like mashups. It'll be the songs of ABBA done underground, and you think, rap versions of I don't know, U2 songs. And Rob had a show like this, which was Elvis songs sung over the Evil Dead 2. And I thought that's going to be terrible. Not even going to look at it. Friends of mine went to see it, said, no, you should see this. It's really good. And the following year I went to see it, and it's such an amazing. It was so good. I couldn't believe I was laughing and enjoying the music so much. So what he does is he's got edited highlights of the Evil Dead 2 playing on a screen behind him. He looks a little bit like Elvis, Rob, and Rob also looks a little bit like Ash from the films. And he sings Elvis songs, but he's changed the words to mirror what's happening on the screen behind him. All at the same time, he's kind of spraying blood on his face. He's doing the makeup as he goes along for the show.
My goodness.
His shirt's ripping as he's fighting. Oh man, it was so good. So yeah, I was delighted. It was one of those ones where, well, no one's going to record that. We have to do that. That would be amazing. So we did. We've got this. We've recorded his show. It's so good. I'm going to send you a clip of it.
Oh, well, I will gladly enjoy it. And we might just cut to a few comedy bits, a few people from the stable, and then come back and chat a bit more. Sound good?
Lovely.
And we did that. Oh, gosh, we're laughing in the aisles here. I mean, we don't have an aisles. I'm in my spare bedroom, and Chris, I presume, is in his office.
Well, it's my front room.
Oh, someone who's quite famous is Ruby Wax. How did you, oh gosh, that's terrible. Look at that alarm go off. Ruby Wax, I wouldn't be very keen to go up and ask something of Ruby. How did you do it?
How did that happen? I was working with Mark Thomas, and Mark and Ruby share the same road manager, Tina. And I reckon I was just talking to Tina about it. How she said, well, Ruby's looking for someone to record her show. Oh, can I do it? And because I'd worked with Tina and filmed Mark Thomas's show with Tina, she must have put a good word in for me. That's the only thing I can think of.
That's the only thing. Oh, and someone else we love dearly is Adam Buxton. How did you get on to Dr. Buckley's?
I think I just wrote to him.
Yeah.
Out of the blue, I said, hello, I don't know if you know me, but I do this. And I think he has a soft spot for Richard Herring, who I work with quite a lot. And had a best of show. Again, he wanted something. A lot of people who are record want things to archive, to say, well, that's my work up until this point. Let's record that, and then we can. That's it. I don't do it anymore, and then that gives me, as a creator, the impetus to make something new. And I think that's how we managed to snag Adam.
Do you ever feel frightened that the Adam and Joe radio show bits might go away, or is the BBC quite good about keeping radio shows now? I know they weren't in the olden days.
I think they keep them now. I'm sure of it. In fact, the fans of Adam and Joe keep it alive on the internet.
Yeah.
They don't. They have flavours of the month, I think. So there's some people that I used to love that you don't hear about on the BBC anymore, and there's some other things that just get repeated over and over. So that's the only problem. I don't think anything's being deleted anymore in this day and age. Thank goodness.
Tom Parry here. He's a funny guy. I think I heard a joke from him. I think it's one of my favourite jokes. I think it was, I bet he doesn't do it anymore, but red sky at night, sailors delight. Light sky at night, daytime. Have you ever heard him say that? Look, it's pretty stupid, but it makes me laugh.
I don't know how he can do it. He I thought, had a very specific role in Pappy's, And I thought, how is he going to get that
Yeah.
character on his own? Because he'd be too annoying on his own. Because in his character in Pappy's, Matthew keeps having to kind of put him down and say, "What are you doing? That's stupid. Don't do that." But somehow he's found a way around it. I don't even know how he's done it. I don't know how he does it. But his yellow T-shirt show, oh goodness me, it's laughing from start to finish. The way he starts is, have you seen it? He starts
I have not
pretending
seen
to be,
it.
Have you heard of the Stereophonics? It's a Welsh-
Yes, of course.
Welsh
Yeah.
band. Okay. Oh, I didn't know they were worldwide.
I
So
used
he
to sing
starts
one of their
pretending-
songs in a cover band.
Okay.
Yeah.
About the matches.
Pardon, sorry, I just missed that.
Oh, was it the one about the matches? Burning
No,
down
it's the
trees? That one.
thing about do I feel I'm the one, do I feel I'm the one. Quite a new one.
Okay.
So about 10, 12 years old.
Well, he starts the show pretending he's Kelly Jones from the Stereophonics, and he does like 5 or 10 minutes of that. And me and my son, that's how we speak to each other now. Just using
sure.
that little tiny fragment of a character.
Is he
He's a force
Welsh?
of nature, Tom Perry. No,
Oh, okay.
he's got a Welsh brother-in-law or something. That's the closest he's got to being Welsh.
Good.
Yeah, he's a gorgeous man as well. He's like a proper, good egg.
So we just mentioned some other stars that people that I love. Why not? Miles Jupp. We know him from acting. Do we know his comedy well enough? I would say people, no. It's time to get to know Miles's comedy a bit better.
Yeah,
Agree?
Miles is exactly what you expected. He's a lot younger than I expected as well. He's got the
He
sort
is.
of demeanour of like a 65-year-old man, isn't he? But he's, I don't know what age he is now, but he's much younger than me. I couldn't believe it when we met. Lovely
35, 40-ish, something like that. Lou Sanders. Oh my God! Talk about forces of nature. What can you tell us about Lou?
Well, when I met her for the film, we'd emailed quite a bit, and I'd seen her live, but we'd never actually spoken. And when we did actually meet, she said, "Oh, must be a big day for you." About that all the time.
Fantastic.
Also, my kids love her. Do you have Taskmaster? Do you get the series Taskmaster there?
Oh,
It's
look,
like a comedy show.
I know people sometimes refer to it, so I know that's repeated in some way.
Well, it's the first time my kids love Taskmaster,
Yeah.
and Lou was a guest on it. It's the first time kind of the work I do has kind of the kids have been interested in. Do you know Lou Sanders? I said, yeah, I do. And they went, wow. And then Lou did an advert on the radio that said, "Hey, it's Lou here, your dad's friend." And then because that's her shtick, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I said, how did that happen? How did she know that was the case? That's just her shtick, mate.
Very, very good. Well, let's cut again to a couple more comedy clips, and we'll come back and wrap this puppy up, which doesn't sound like a good thing to do, but in this case it is. We'll be back in a minute. And we're back with Chris Evans from Go Faster Stripe. All your UK comedy needs there, or have you gone international, or just mainly the British
Got
folks?
to be someone international. I mean, that's generally people who are around. So when I've
Yeah,
asked
of course.
people to do it, they've got to kind of already be here.
Um,
who did we nearly get? We nearly got. Oh, you'd love him. What's his name? He had an amazing album in the 80s. He was American. I was going to fly him over. It was going to be like
Amazing in the 80s. It's a male, so that's all right.
Okay.
It's not. It's fantastic.
He was, I suppose, the definition of quirky when he came out.
Not
was huge
Stephen
at the
Wright.
time. No, guy, he's great, isn't he? Not
Yeah,
Stephen Wright. I would
not
love to work with
Stephen Wright.
Wright.
Of quirky. Look, you'll
Emo
think
Phillips.
of
It
it.
was Emo Phillips.
Oh yeah, emo with the funny. Were you ever a Dr. Katz fan? Talk about quirky, Dr. Katz, the cartoon. Yeah. They're all on YouTube, and
it was ages before I realised that it was just comedians talking, then animated to what the comedians said.
probably don't get a lot of. You probably don't get a lot of spare time, but if you ever do, you might.
I don't have a lot of spare time nowadays.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to make a few selections to give away to the Slice Radio listeners. Is that sound okay?
Yeah.
Let's see. Nick Helm. I know I don't know enough about his. Oh, it's just a download. I want something that people can hold. Well, why not George Egg? That's a physical. It's out of stock. George is.
There's more on the way. How we sell that? It's not really a physical item. It's recipe cards with a download code stuck onto them.
Okay.
That's how we sell George Egg's show. So
Well, how about something from my old mate Richard Herring? Now, we're not mates, but I'd like to believe we are. In my mind, I've spent so much time.
Sure. What you fancy?
How about How Not to Grow Up? Something from the back catalogue. I've added that to basket. Who else did we mention? Has Lou got a physical version?
No, that's download only, I'm afraid.
What about Miles? He's got a few shows.
Yes, we've got physical ones.
Oh, that's good. Great to support Miles, support everyone. Tony Law. Yeah, you are international.
Yeah, of course.
Tony Law. Let's have Tony Law's A Law Undo Is Elf.
He made up that title as we were recording it. He said, "Oh, we need a title for the show. Oh yeah, and then just write that down. That's a show."
Apparently, he's less crazy these days. And Adam Buxton's Old Bits. That's 4 things. That's not too bad.
It's a nice selection.
So we're gonna get that over here to Australia, and we'll give it away to some deserving people. What else did I want to mention? Live shows. Do you want to give us a little bit of spiel on how to catch up with the streaming stuff, or will it end with the end of COVID, or what do you reckon?
Well, I don't know, actually. At the moment, we are doing some live streams where we get the actor. I mean, there's loads of different ways of doing these, and mostly they seem to be Zoom calls with the comedians kind of working on new material. So we've got a different way, and we're showing older shows that we filmed before all this, in theatres, but we do get the acts on to introduce them and to stay on to the end, where they'll do a Q&A with messages left in the chat room, and that seems to be working really well. I'm really enjoying doing them, and the feeling that I get once a show's finished is identical to the one I would get when I'd be in a theatre and a show's finished. So all that adrenaline and excitement, and hoping that, because I'm at the back, so hoping the technical side will work properly, and hoping we've got everything recorded properly and everyone's enjoyed themselves. So when that show finishes in a theatre, it's like, hey, and you can have a drink with your friends. Now, of course, it's just I'm here on my own and I'll have a cup of tea. But the eternal so I think it works quite well from my point of view. The acts seem to like it, and there's a little bit of live, so we don't lose the quality of having a Zoom chat. So things are filmed properly, but then there's also the live aspect of being able to talk to the person. So I like it. I think they work really well. Whether we'll carry them on after this, I don't know. I think if people are still interested in watching them, I see no reason to not do it.
Yeah.
Of course, I can't wait to get back in a normal theatre, because the shows that we want to record that are backed up now, that I'm desperate to get out and film and see again.
Sure.
I don't know when that's going to happen, though. I mean, I know you're going back, right? You've got theatres that you can go to like a normal person.
We are pretty much back to normal, except for there's just a few little outbreaks here and there. I'm in country New South Wales. There's an outbreak in Queensland. It's about 10 hours drive away from me.
That sounds like a safe distance.
Yeah, I would say probably only a few % of the population has got their first jab by this stage. But we're only 27 million. So when America started, they said, well, we think we can do 1 million a week, but there's 330 million of them. So obviously, that's a long time. I think they're doing better than that, by the way. But
more spread out, aren't you, of course?
Yeah, we are quite spread out. And we did have some, like, I was working here and some people with COVID were on the other side of the wall. So I got quite close to COVID, but and I was a little bit nervous, but I mean, compared to other people, I hope that all Australians were gracious in sort of saying that, we had it pretty easy, but there was still horrible stuff. It's horrible. It's a bad disease. You don't want it.
Of course it is.
It's to be avoided.
So I don't know when the theatre is going back is the point. I don't know when we're going to be able to.
But anyway, look,
some people saying May.
It's never a boring click to click over to Go Faster Stripe and see what's going on. I head over there. Look, I'm not over there every week. I go over spasmodically. I'm signed up to the email list. I know what's going on. I buy something here. I buy something there. And that's what we're asking people to support comedy. And you're going to see a lot of stuff over there that you're not going to see anywhere else. Am I right?
Thank you very much for saying all that.
Well, thank you for your time, Chris. We'll let you go. You've got a busy day. The only thing we'll ask is when you see Richard Herring, or when you chat to him, will you give him our love from the continent of Australia and wish him well in his recovery? I know he's been downplaying it. And I know when you get to our age in life, you've come into contact with cancer, multiple times through different things. But still, I was terribly concerned and frightened, and, God bless you, Rich.
Oh, that's very kind.
And bless you too, Chris. And maybe we'll check back in later in the year and see what's going on at Go Faster Stripe. You can give us another little update.
Thank you. Lovely speaking to you.
No problems. Let's